Hi everybody, welcome back to tnoozLIVE at the Aviation Festival, presented by JetBlue Technology Ventures and sponsored by Travel Air. Martin Cowan, Editorial Director for T-News. Next up, fairly senior guy joining me on the sofa, Dee Waddell, who's the Managing Director for Travel and Transportation Industries for IBM. Big company. Let us know what you do as the Global MD for Travel and Transportation Industries.
Sure. Well, first of all, let me just say thank you, Martin.
Okay.
We're glad that T-News is here. No doubt we need more coverage in this space because there's a lot of interesting things going on. So again, thank you for being at the show, and I think it's been a good thing for all of us.
Okay, thank you.
So my role at IBM is I lead up all of our travel and transportation clients. So as a former client, been a CIO, CDO in the industry, spent 5 years at United Airlines on the commercial side, leading up United.com and others. Been a clear industry person, I think, with IBM's strategy around AI and cognitive, around cloud, around industry. We truly see the industry as a strategic way to go to market to make sure it's not about the technology, but it's about the business impact, about what we can do in that space. So again, I'm a huge fan of the space, but that's what I am, and I have ultimate accountability for all of our airline clients.
Okay, it's just in terms of the IBM mothership. Where is travel and transportation in terms of the
it's one of 12 industries that we are focused on. And again, that's the travel and transportation. But even within travel and transportation, the airline segment is our largest.
Okay.
We have a storied history dating back to the original passenger service system or the reservation system, pushing out with Sabre. There's actually a wonderful story about an IBM salesperson and the CEO at American Airlines, how they got together and they said, let's go dream up a way to better serve our clients for reservations, and that's how it all started back in the 60s.
One of the things that we've talked a lot about disruption, and we might get onto that later, but the history of disruption's a PhD waiting to happen. I mean, that was probably the most disruptive thing ever, and it was that meeting between IBM when it went, but that was 1960s. Okay, so moving forward 58 years, I mean, what are the sort of the innovations that you think the airline industry really needs to be embracing, and maybe, as you said earlier, not necessarily about the technology, but about the business impact of the technology? So the innovations around that.
Well, it's interesting because there's a lot of different innovations both on the business side for business models, as well as technology enablers, right? So, for instance, on the business side, we know that massive growth in our industry. I mean, we're talking about 4 billion travelers, potentially up to 2040, doubling to 8 billion. The cross-border travelers, we're seeing more and more people go across borders. And just to be clear, even from the World Travel and Tourism Council and the research they have, we know that when people travel across borders, it brings world peace. So just to be very clear, I'm an industry person. We have a very fond and a value of making sure that what we do drives ultimate value like that. But what I'm seeing is a lot of technology, a lot of business things, a lot of disruptors. We've all heard about the Ubers and the Airbnbs and others. What we're seeing is these are all good for us and making us transform. So one of the things we're talking about is we all are talking about transformation. We've talked about it for many, many years. The question is, how do you maximize your transformation? Actually, recently, McKinsey did a study about 70% of digital transformation is not achieving its potential. So the question is, how do I do that? And you'll typically hear at these events about customer experience, or here's how you can maximize revenue, and they'll talk all different things. Our message here at this conference today is a bit different. It goes to the employee. Within an airline, there are segments of employees, pilots, flight attendants, line maintenance workers, in-airport staff. And if you take a look at how these have grown up within an airline, they're very siloed. They don't work. So we did a partnership with Apple in 2014, and we had our CEO, Ginny Rometty, as well as Tim Cook, the CEO, that talked about IBM and Apple coming together to transform the way people work. So our focus and our message here at this conference is we, along with our partners like Apple and IBM, can bring an airline the ability to transform the way people work, break down these silos. And our core is, one of the core things we're doing, again, one of them is about leveraging mobile, bringing in AI, cloud, blockchain, and others into this to bring data and people and process together to then transform the way people work.
Okay, so
that's what we're doing.
The idea of digital transformation is not just about systems, it's about corporate mindset.
And not just about customers' experience. It
Yeah.
is ultimately, but only thinking about that has led us to great websites, great B2C apps.
Yeah.
We've kind of forgotten how important the employees are.
Okay.
And the employees are just so, in our travel environment, just to be clear, 1 out of every 10 jobs in the travel and tourism sector, it's not just airlines, is within the space. 1 out of 10 jobs in the world.
Yeah.
And it's going to 1 out of every 9. So the question is, we're going to have people, they're fantastic. That's what we live in. I mean, think about going on board and not having a flight attendant there. I don't see that in the near future. So the question is, how do I get our maintenance the same way? These are great folks. So rather than talking about how technology is going to, move them out, I actually believe, and we believe, this is about enabling, augmenting people with AI, that they can do such a better job if they have the right tools and data with them. So we've built a suite of specific applications for the airline, 14 in total, that focuses on that user experience for the employee, about how then they can deliver a higher customer experience.
So that's 14 products, sort of the employee experience.
For the employee.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
Like the cabin, the pilot,
Yep.
the onboard, line maintenance, and so forth.
Is that Apple IBM deal? Is that part
That's
of the
right. That's
employee?
part of the Apple and IBM partnership where we have deployed apps, bringing together data and AI and pieces, and it manifests itself in an app. Just to be clear, it's not about the app.
Yeah.
But what we found is if Apple and IBM and the actual, let's say, flight attendant or onboard staff get in a room, we kind of remove the managers, we say, let's fix, or even better, bring in maintenance and the flight attendants together. We say, how do we design a better way to do it? Thinking about the ultimate customer. It's amazing what's happening. These are people that, oh my goodness, you're thinking about me, about what I can do to help make a difference for the airline. It's been transformational from a culture perspective, as well as an outcome for those employees, and most importantly, revenue, customer experience. Yeah. So that's been the key message.
I mean, so what's the mood music in the sort of airline industry when you're going in and you're talking about digital transformation in the context of sort of employee empowerment through technology? I mean, are airlines receptive to that on a base level, or are they more receptive? Are they deeper? Do they get deeper into it?
Yeah, no, it's interesting because, of course, when you start getting into specific roles, it's deep because these are pros. I mean, oftentimes some of these roles, like a mechanic, you've got to be certified. I mean, there's deep expertise. And so again, bringing data, expertise, and the people together to transform, it's amazing. But I see multiple approaches. What I see is kind of the intelligent airline that has people that are seeing beyond. They realize, and this is what I'd call, let's call it the torchbearer, the leaders, are seeing it beyond the silos. They're seeing that I can bring in mobile applications, or let's just not even do the application. It's about these people in a new way by mobile to transform and break down these silos. So they're creating strategies around culture transformation, whether it be safety or selling more on the airplane, and they're bringing those together to solve issues, to come up with apps. Let me give you a very clear example. So we're working we have 9 clients, very high level, the KLM, SAS, Finnair, United Airlines, Air Canada. We have 9 that we're really working closely with and building out these apps, Singapore Airlines as well with the pilots. So we're working with a number of clients. But the ones that I see that are progressive and in the front are bringing together these siloed, working. And the example I was going to give is about how I can have a flight attendant and a line maintenance worker working together. The flight attendant can, in the process of their job, take a picture of a seat or some defect on the airplane. and immediately transmit that over in the app of the line maintenance, and when the plane comes in, they can be ready to change that. I can apply more AI models around predictive maintenance and other things to even do better.
Yeah.
But the point is, I can bring those technology to bear through the employees to then make a quicker turn for us that fly on planes a lot, because we don't like to be delayed by mechanical issues.
Yeah, I mean, it must be the tearing of hair when a flight is delayed because there's a seat problem that you're saying can quite easily be solved. I mean, some of the stuff that we've been talking about is really sort of high-end, clever tech stuff, but that seems like fairly obvious once you've got the in-mast satellite to connect the connect. So, I mean, are you in a position maybe just sort of talk more about sort of what artificial intelligence through IBM Watson can do for?
So this is interesting.
More for the consumer than the business. So.
Yeah, so as a part, it's not just the apps. We call this our IBM Travel Platform.
Yeah.
And we have, of course, our application suite. We also have some specific AI components based on Watson. But it's in the retail space, around retail ancillaries, of course, where predictive models and other ways to enhance. We also have the operations and the maintenance. What I was going to say is a part of this suite, we have AI built in, because AI can really be pervasive in many processes, whether it be in maintenance, predictive maintenance, or processes. I mean, what we're doing with the Apple apps, I'll talk a little bit about it, but I can now use the camera and train the AI models in the actual app for maintenance to then look at a part and automatically tell if it has a defect or not. Simple, but easy, and it saves them a lot of time. Right? So that's one area. Another area in the retail side, what we've done is we have what we call our personalized pricing and offers. It's part of our IBM Travel Platform. Now this is a back-end engine where we've got 25 plus patents on this, specifically for the airlines. I am ingesting internal and external information about customers, about where they're going and other things, and I can bring propensity models and show where that customer, and personalize where I can then place a product, price a product, or package a product to then have a higher uplift of sales, right? Okay. So it's much more personalized on a scale. So we usually just segment business traveler, leisure travel. I can now scale personalization down to that level, and the best thing about AI is it continues to learn. And then I can put that into an app, whether it be on the .com, the mobile, or the flight attendant who, after close the doors, now knows who to go to without impacting their safety and security, about who to offer that seat for that would have the highest likelihood to accept that $50 or $100. Okay.
And you just mentioned in passing, 25 patents on this one product. So, I mean, this is, proprietary, new, fresh to market stuff that's not available anywhere else, and that's just IBM, and there are other providers in the market, and they presumably have got a similar scale of patents. But I just think it's quite interesting that even though we might think that think things are progressing, there's more progression to come, and it's going to get.
And IBM, just to be clear, we have the platform as well as the solutions, but others do not spend almost $6 billion a year in R&D. I mean, our patents, we are the patent leader in the world. We had over 9,000 patents last year. Okay. This is 25 years of patent leadership, and we continually transform. So we are on with blockchain, with AI. We are clearly the market leaders in cloud and multi-cloud environments. We are the leaders. So never count us out.
I won't do that, but I've just been counted out by the tech guys who said we might have gone over our 10 to 12 minute slot. So Dee, thanks very much for taking the time to talk to us. We could shoot the breeze for hours on end about
I'm sure
this,
we could.
But, this is tnoozLIVE at the Aviation Festival. Martin Cowan, editorial director, signing off, but I'll be back shortly. Thanks very much.